1st of September, Rabbi Furst, Havos Halavovos.
Uh, actually, we made a switch. Did you get the email I sent out yesterday? Has a new document.
I got it. Yeah, 5 pages.
Um, is it 5 pages? I forgot. Yeah, could be. Could
Five.
be 5 pages. Yeah, on Rosh Hashanah. Good. Okay. So let me give you a hakdama. This is a sefer. It's as you see in the very first line. We've learned it before. I think we learned it last time. When it came to Megillah, Purim. This is the sefer called Kada Kemach, and the sefer is arranged according to subject matter. And here's a section on Rosh Hashanah. Now, just to give you a little bit background, the sefer is written by uh, the Rabbeinu Bechai ben Asher. It's not the Rabbeinu Bechai who wrote the Sefer Chavos Halavovos. This is a Sefer written, the Mechaber here in this Kadekemek lived in 1255, also in Spain, also in, say, 1255, which is approximately 150 years before or maybe 250 years before the Spanish Inquisition. So he also lived approximately 800 years ago, a little bit less perhaps. And he bases many of what he says on straight Chazal, so and Psukim as well. So we'll go into what he has to teach us about Rosh Hashanah. Good. Okay. With that Hagdama, um, who would like to begin to read?
I would.
Okay, very good.
Okay, so let's see. Uh, Feles u
Tell us. Tell
Feles
us a bit.
u Maazni uh, Mishefet
That's mishpat.
Mishpat Lashem Maasu Pchol Avnei Kis. So I don't know Felet.
Okay, so this is a pasuk in Mishalei, Perik Tez Zion, pasuk Yud Aleph. 1 second, take a look there, and we'll learn all about the.
Tez Zion Yud Aleph.
Yeah,
If I can find it.
it's Mishalei 16:11.
Okay, let's see. It looks like it says a just weight and balance are the Lord's. All weights in the bag are his work. It is an abomination to kings to commit wickedness, for a throne is established by righteousness. Is that it?
Yep, very good. That's right.
Okay.
Pelis. So Pelis is like a scale. Mazne is a balance. Mishpat, which are proper, accurate. Yeah, mishpat accurate, right? So if a person, when a person there's going to be balanced and accurate scales and balances, that's to Hashem. That Masehu, the works of Hashem, the deeds of Hashem, Kol Avnei Kis. They will they're all like weights Avne keys. Avne. They used to. What does it mean? They used to, as you know, when they used to have scales and balance beams. So they used to take out um, various different uh, balance weights, and then they had to be accurate, right? So they would be kept in a special bag. Avne keys. Avne keys was the bag where they kept the balance weights for the scales they would use. So they had to be accurate. The scales had to be accurate. The balances had to be accurate, and the stones that they used to create the offset balance of what you're measuring, weighing, that would also have to be accurate. So those things, that accuracy, meaning there's no greater accuracy for these things than a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Kadosh Baruch Hu is exacting in his measurements without any um, mistakes, without any forgeries, without any deception. Okay.
Hey, Mr. Yud Vav, when we just said it was Tet Zion.
So I mean, some don't use the Yud Vav. Some use Tezayin instead. If it comes out to be the same, Yud Vav is 16. Tezayin is also 16.
Yud Vav. Oh, that's right. Yeah, people don't use that because it's Hashem's name.
It has the Yud in it and the Vav. So some people don't use it. Some people do.
Right.
It's a question of whether the person's strict about that or not.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Uh,
Sure.
uh, Mach Sedei, uh, uh, I don't know this abbreviation.
Hashem Yisbarach. Mechazdei Hashem Yisbarach. Amongst the mercies that Hashem has al Briyav on his creations.
Al Baro E Baruav, his creations, Shabara that he created, his Shuva, Kodem She Bara Haolam, that he created before he created the world.
Right. That amongst the various things that Hashem did in terms of his mercies upon those things he created, one of those things was that he created Shuva before he created the world. Now, what does that mean? What does it mean that Shuva was there? I think 7 things the Gemara mentions. There are 7 things Hashem created before he created the world. All right. So the way I try and explain it is people get a little bit um, concerned about that because they're understanding that the creation of the world was the very first thing, and nothing existed before the creation of the world. But it's not exactly true. There were many things which existed for the creation of the world. Now, what is it? But what is that supposed to mean, right?
Yeah.
So I explain it as follows: that let's say you have a house, right? You have a house. So, person built a house, right? But there are many things that existed before the building of the house, right? There was wood that existed. There was electrical wire that existed. There were bricks that existed. There was cement that existed. All those various things, right, existed before the creation of the house, before the building of the house, right? So it's not that everything that was created was created with the Maisa Breshis. That could very well, and as we see here, there were things that were in fact created and existing before the actual world as we know it, the universe as we know it, was actually created. Right? So just as simply as a house many things pre-exist before the building of the house, the creation of the house. Many things existed before the creation of the universe.
Doesn't it also indicate that there's something special about this thing, in that um, it so to speak, it doesn't fit in the natural order. That tshuva is something that um, doesn't it doesn't make sense that such a thing should exist, should exist and should work. It's like a supernatural thing that Hashem has
Right.
added to the world.
Yeah, exactly. This idea that you're mentioning is spoken about, that um, there are these things that were created before the creation of the world, or certain things which had elements in them which supersede the actual universe itself. Now,
Right,
one way to very simply to explain it is, if you understand that the Akash Baruch Hu created the world with din, right?
right,
Din basically means, another way of explaining din is with nature, meaning Akash Baruch Hu created the world that it exists through natural laws, right?
right,
Both spiritual laws and physical laws, right? Just like there are physical laws, law of gravity, law of, you know, all kinds of different laws you might have in physics and chemistry, all different things that help the functioning of the world to exist. So you have spiritual laws also. So according to din, that if a person does something wrong, you should be punished, right?
right,
So the fact that tshuva can intercede and bring about a cleansing for wrongdoing, like that's something which is beyond din, right? So in that aspect, there are other ways to explain it as well, but in that aspect, we can understand why it was created before the world actually was brought into existence.
right, right. Okay. Lefi she ha'adam mutva mi yatzar uh, miyetzer hara v v'haya galui v'yadua lefanav she'asid lechato lechato. So the fee on account of that a person, what is this motva?
He's influenced by the Sahara.
Is influenced by the Yetzer Hara, and it is revealed and known before him that there is always sin.
Yeah, Gali we do on the fun of Sha'asid in the future, that since a person is influenced by the Sahara, and basically the Sahara in its most basic form is our physical needs and desires. Okay? So a person is going to be influenced by his physical needs and desires. It's impossible. We're put into a physical body. The physical body has certain needs, desires and lusts, and a person has to, through his journey in life, learn how to control them and guide them and use them properly. But nevertheless, we are inherently, intimately connected with our physical bodies. So inevitably, we have to come to terms with what the physical body wants and demands and desires. And because of that, we're going to have influences. We're going to be influenced because of that. So therefore, a person will inevitably, in some way or another, come to sin.
Right, right. Hine hu chasar mitzad hatolda ad sheyis chazak shekulo v'tigavar vi v'yimshol al yitzro. But and we see who he is lacking from the perspective of hatolda is what, dependency?
Well, hinehu chaser mesad tolada, meaning a person is lacking from the aspect of his birth, meaning from the fact that he's born as a physical entity, he's going to be therefore chaser. And there's a tremendous change that takes place for the fetus in the womb of the mother. And the fetus in the womb of the mother has everything supplied for it, all its oxygen, its nutrients, bloodstream, everything is completely supplied to perfection for the fetus, the Vlad, in the womb of the mother. As soon as the child is born, he is automatically chaser. He's chaser oxygen, he's chaser bloodstream. And it's very important that the child, when he's first born, cries, because that cry is the filling of the lungs with oxygen. Right? Without that, right, the baby has to sholem would be endangered, because he has to start breathing. Immediately upon him coming out into the physical world and emerging from the womb of his mother, he must, for his very survival, fulfill his lack. And the first and most immediate thing he's lacking is oxygen. He must have oxygen. And that cry is very important, because the cry is a signal for the lungs to start functioning. And likewise, the bloodstream, right, has now been cut off. The umbilical cord for the mother has been cut off. So now he has to have food. He has to have liquids, right? So mitzad his very birth, he is lacking, right? So that lack, which really boils down to physical necessities, right? Those physical necessities are going to drive the person at the very inception of his creation and birth into this world to be driven to fulfill the physical needs and desires. And if he doesn't get hold of his physical desires by using his seichel, he's going to be in big trouble.
Okay. Ad sheyis chazak, until he becomes strong, shekulo, that all of him,
No, his chazik sichlo, until he strengthens his intelligence.
seichel, intelligence, till he strengthens his intelligence, v'yis gavar v'yimshol al Yitzro. I don't know. It's his Yitzro is his desires.
Yeah. So
Conquers his
this gaber,
desires.
so this gaber is to conquer umoshel and rule over his desires. He must strengthen he must strengthen his intelligence in order that he should become conquering and ruling over his physical desires.
V'hinei David Hamelech. Um, we see that David Hamelech. What's Ayin Hay?
Avos shalom.
Alav Hashalom. Af al pi, even though shehi, even though that he bis bischal is
That betach, that's
tachlis
betachlis.
tachlis, his purpose chasidus of his kindness, v'hashlemus, and his perfection,
Well, here Hasidus is like piety,
his piety and his
perfection, finishes
perfection.
perfection.
Matzinu bo his natsal mitzad hatolda. Matzinu is found in him. Shehis natzel. I don't know.
That that the that when it came to David Amelech, right? That the the fact that he was in in piety, he was perfect in piety, and we see nevertheless that his he still was involved in the Indian of Bathsheba, and as it said in the pasuk in Tehillim, that's Tehillim. Where is it? Yeah, Tehillim nun aleph pasuk Zion.
Nun Aleph 51. Fifty-one 7. Behold, I was shaped in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me. So I was shaped in iniquity. Matzinu is to be shaped.
No, Matzino is not part of the pasuk.
His natzel is to be shaped.
No, that this is still part of the explanation. It said Alpha P David Melech Avos Shalom Alpha P Betachos Chasidus Vashlemus. Even though he was out, he reached excellence in piety and perfection, Matzina, we see, we find. Bosh, and it's not still Mitzado Tolada. He still nevertheless had to contend with his basic birth right of being a physical entity when it came to the subject of Bathsheba, as he said about himself when it came time to the thing about Bathsheba. What did he say about Bathsheba? This is the pasuk.
Shamar, that he said, Hain ba on cholatzi uvechata yach masani imi. Okay, so let's see, 7. Hain, I guess that's behold, avani, behold, I was shaped in iniquity. In iniquity, cholalati, I was shaped. Uvechata, and I was conceived.
That's right.
Yicha masani imi. I was conceived in sin by my mother.
That's right. That when people usually get people usually are created in it because it's the Yetzer Hara, which is bringing the man and the woman, the husband and the wife together, that they should cohabitate, have marital relations, and that's going to bring forth the children into this world.
Right. Yomar ki chol ma shekarhu haya mitzad hatolda. And he said, since all that which shekarhu, I don't know.
No, that Yomer ki kol ma shakara, everything that occurs. Shakara is something which occurs. Mitzhaya mitzad tolada. Everything that occurs is because of the way that a person has been created. Tolada is like the way he's created.
Right. V'chein hu omer, and similarly he says in Bereshis Ches, ki yatzar leiv ha'adam ra mani
Minura.
minorah.
This is a
Since
pasuk by. Go ahead. Yeah.
since the desire of the heart of a man is evil, minorav, from the beginning,
Right, from the time he was young,
from you,
as
from
a
his
child.
youth. Because
Right.
and it's also written in Bereshis, V'chol yetzar machshavos libo rak ra kol hayom. Wow. And all the desires of the thoughts of his heart are only bad from all the day, or only bad all the day.
Yeah, maybe it's worth looking at these psukim
Yeah.
in Bereshit. Yeah.
Okay, so we are in Bereshis Chet. We know what pasuk?
I'll tell you in a moment.
Bereshis 8.
Um, That yes, yeah, that's in Parshas Noach, Nun Ches Chet 58:8.
Oh, this is in the Gemara?
What do you mean? There's a pasuk in Bereshis.
In Bereshis. Okay, so Chet, what was the pasuk?
Nun Chet Chet 58:8. No, sorry, I'm sorry. Forgive me. No, it's Perek Chet, chapter 8, pasuk Chaf Aleph.
Chava.
Bereshis 8:21. Bereshis 8:21.
Vayarach Hashem es reach hanichoach vayomer Hashem el libo lo osif likalel od es hadam ba'avur hadam ki yetzer lev hadam ra min urav v'lo osif od lehakor lehakos es kol chai kasher asisi. Okay, so Hashem smelled the pleasing aroma, and Hashem said in his heart, I will not continue to curse again the ground because of man, since the design of man's heart is evil from his youth, nor will I again continue to smite every living being as I have done. Let's see. So Rashi? Rashi says, from his youth, it is written as if it were read, Min Arav. This teaches us that from the time that he stirs to go out of his mother's insides, the urge to do evil is put in him. I will not continue, nor will I again continue.
Oh, so 1 minute. So Rashi tells you here, from the very moment that a person's born, he must have this urge. It's called the urge to do evil. So evil in this context, it's simply the desire to fulfill the physical needs and desires, right? Which many times is going to be contradicting the spiritual necessities of the person, right? So this is the constant struggle between the Yetzer Hara and the Yetzer Tov. Yetzer Tov wants to fulfill the spiritual needs and aspirations of the neshama, and the Yetzer Hara wants to fulfill the physical needs and desires of the physical body. And you have a person through life has to come to a delicate and perfect balance between the two. And that's the situation a person's placed in at the very moment that he's born. And let's see, I think there was another pasuk that they mentioned as well, right?
Yeah, it was Vav, chapter Vav.
Right. Right. That is the chapter. One second. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, right. Yeah. Perek Vav, Pasuk K, 6:5. Perek Vav, Pasuk K.
Pasuk A, Perek Vav, Pasuk A. Okay, hey, let's see. Vayar Hashem ki rabba ra'as ha'adam ba'aretz v'chol yetzer machshavos libo rak ra kol hayom. Hashem saw that the wickedness of man was great upon the earth, and that every product of the thoughts of his heart was but evil always. And there isn't any Rashi on this pasuk.
Yeah, let's see here. Right. Um, right. Let's see what that means.
This is very hard to understand. Um, these psukim seem to contradict my understanding of the Torah philosophy, which is that we're born neutral. This says we're born evil. My understanding was that the idea that we're born evil is a Christian idea, but that we don't hold by that.
No, that's something else. First, I don't. First, I don't read. I don't know what they believe in. I'm not sure what they believe in. But the little bit I know about what we believe in is as follows: the the necessity of physical existence requires that a person has a Yetzer Hara. Okay, without Torah to balance those physical necessities and desires of the physical body, a person will simply bring himself and his surroundings to destruction. As we see what happened with the this is it. This is the Dura Mabul. You see what happened to Sodom, right? When you see that the physical needs of the physical body are unchecked because there's no Torah, so the person will inevitably always choose to fulfill the physical desires at the expense of the neshama, right? Which is basically destruction, right? Now,
Right.
before Matan Torah, so each individual had to come and use his seichel, his intelligence individually to come to realization of what a Baruch Hu expected from him. No one else did that in such excellence as Avram Avinu. Right? He used his seichel, his intelligence, to come to know and realize what Hashem expected of him. And therefore, that's why Hashem chose Avram Avinu, that through him, the Klal Yisrael should eventually be created, and then Klal Yisrael should receive the Torah. In earlier times, it was not necessary for a Torah to be given in the way it was given in Matan Torah. It was only after Klal Yisrael descended into Mitzrayim, and we were influenced, the Jewish people were influenced by the corruption of the Egyptians, right? That when we came out of Mitzrayim, it was now necessary for us to receive a Torah as a codified, distinct, and precise codification of the Ratzon of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, what we should do. Right? But before that, people were expected and capable of using their intelligence, right, to fulfill the spiritual requirements of life in this physical world. So with that intelligence, they could be successful. Without using that intelligence, right, they would simply fall prey to the physical desires and physical lusts and necessities, which was happening as the two major, three could include the Egyptians as well. The three major paradigms for this is the door of Babel, right? You had the door of Sodom, and you had the Egypt, the Mitzrayim. Right? And all three were led to their destruction because of their their lack of intelligence and their lack of shlita, their lack of control over the physical desires. So if a person is not going to do that, so he's simply going to be left in the hands of his physical existence, and which is going to be a destruction, and that's going to be raw, that's going to be evil for the spiritual soul within him. Okay.
But I hear you, but I mean, if my English translation is correct, every product of the thoughts of his heart was but evil always. That's very strong.
Lou, I think the touch of evil is probably not correct. My impression is it's more, I would say, base as opposed to holy type of consideration. You know, and what he's saying is that without using your seichel to see Hashem, people are going to make choices to fulfill their physical needs, and I think evil is the wrong word to use there, because it's not evil per se. Because I mean, people are people that have their needs, and there are ways to fulfill them through Hashem, and there are ways to fulfill them without, depending on Hashem, and that's where I think the conflict comes in. Does that make any sense?
So you're translating Ra as base?
Yeah, I think that's a better translation for it. Because again, I agree with you. Evil is not the right connotation. Less than holy is a reasonable connotation, and that's why I say base instead of evil.
Yes, in general, I also try and stay away from the translation of Ra as evil. I usually find what works in most cases, it's detrimental. Something which is Ra is detrimental, right?
Right.
It's a corrupting, negative result, which is going to be detrimental to, depending whatever the context you're using it, detrimental to the neshama, detrimental to society, right? Detrimental to the person himself. So I find that
The word that they translate as wickedness. How do you translate that? Ra'as.
If people are doing things which are detrimental, if people are doing things in mass that are detrimental, so that's a collective.
It's the same root. Okay, I see.
So
I see.
so,
Okay, yeah, that helps, Eliezer. That's an interesting way to see it. That all the thoughts that a person has are focused on the basic needs, and
Yes,
that leads him into trouble.
yeah,
But he's not. It's not that he's evil. Yeah,
right, right. I
that's
feel
helpful.
it's definitely just the wrong connotation.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. I mentioned this once or twice before. I had a friend here in Yeshiva of Shalom. He once met an Arab. Once met an Arab. The boy was about 16, 17 years old. This Arab boy came up to him and says he wants to convert to Judaism. My friend, so was seemed very strange. An Arab wants to convert to becoming a Jew. So he asked him, "Tell me what's on your mind. What's motivating you to do such a thing like that?" He says he sits around with his friends, young people like him, older people like him, older people, all kinds of the men, all the men. The only thing the men are talking about is woman, this woman, that, this woman, that, this woman, that, women. That's all they talk about. It's driving him crazy. This guy, he's got to get out of that. That's all was on. That's all was talked about. All that's on their mind. That's all they could focus on. They had no other thoughts in the world, right? Rock, call a yom. They're only getting involved with detrimental things the whole day long.
Right.
Become a Jew. They had no Torah. They had no reason or incentive to get themselves out of the physical, basic, animalistic needs and desires that the body has. So that's what they fell into. And then the way the Yetzer Hara works is it builds. You start off small, and little by little, the Yetzer Hara becomes greater and greater and stronger till it completely dominates the person, dominates his thoughts, dominates his imagination, right? Dominates everything he does. You can't think about anything else. So that's what we're talking about here. Okay. All right. So we're gonna see further, and you might well ask yourself, well, what does this all have to do with Rosh Hashanah after all? So we'll as we go further, we'll get to see more about how this actually relates to the great days approaching us, and not too long from now. Okay, very good. Mitzvah Shem. We'll stop and take a little break. Thank you, Eliezer, for joining
All
us.
right, have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Thank you.
Have a
You
good
too.
day.
Have a good afternoon.
Thank you, Rabbi. I'll
Thank
see you in a
you.
few minutes.
Okay, very good. See you too. Be with you soon.